ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more BTS America's action. We are in the grand finals right now, and all this, of course, powered by the one and only Squarespace, where it's super easy to build a website without any sort of coding knowledge. With that said, here I am again, KotLGuy, going to be joined once more by Maut remotely, and some intense action here. Root Gaming going against champions of Summer's Rift. These guys have worked their asses off to get to this grand final, pulling off many upsets along the way, and here we are into game number 2. Maut, it looks like this time it's going to be champions of Summer's Rift who open up with the infamous Naga. Yet to say if this will be a Yawar carry Naga or a support, but they want to have it so they can take it away probably from Fluff, who has shown crazy supportive work on it. And look at this, Root Gaming putting priority in their off lane, picking up a Darkseer, passing over Maut some of the more platinum options that are available.
That's a very strange first pick. And you mentioned why. There are so many other good heroes in the pool that are at the ready, and you go for a Darkseer first pick, which is not going to be banned anyways, probably. It makes you scratch your head and wonder. Clearly they have a plan. Otherwise they wouldn't pick it first, I'm sure. But that's what they go for. Tusk was, I think, a big part of their lineup last game, and they want to make Mu comfortable. And I guess the best way to do that is to get him a hero early. And I think Mu's a big linchpin, in their game plan. So for Root Gaming, I think you and I are both surprised that they took that first game as hard as they did. There were some really good glimmers of hope for Champions of Summer's Rift, but man, can you imagine if Root Gaming were playing like this at the TI5 qualifiers?
Yeah.
They're solid, man.
Well, for now, they're just hoping, even though that TI dream is over, they're looking to at least walk away with a good chunk of change. Just to remind everyone, we have $10,000 of prize pool up for grabs. Now, we already witnessed after semifinal action over the past 2 days, both Complexity and Team Archon, those TI5 teams are already been eliminated. They do walk away with a $1,000 prize, so congratulations to them. But between first and second here, second, the losing team from this series will be walking out with $2,750, and the winning first place team for BTS Americas will score a nice $4,500 to split amongst the 5. And of course, you kind of get your eyes in the public and you become that much better of a team and maybe open up some potential invites for future events. You really never know. So putting on a strong showing is something very, very crucial to these teams. And they have just quite the interesting draft here to open up, putting more favor into the supports. Now, Root Gaming grabbed Dazzle. We saw Fun do some great work with it. He had some silly preemptive graves, but more so a lot of game-changing turnaround ones as well. Champions of Summer's Rift open up with the Disruptor. This has been a Whitebeard classic, Maut. You got to remember TI4 qualifiers, I believe, was in the run with Snod. This guy played Disruptor all the frickin' time, so much so that it even earned a first ban respect. It was crazy.
He played it earlier on in this tournament. He had some really good success with it. I believe it was the last series against Complexity when they had to face up against Swindle's Queen of Pain. One of their best options was to go for the Disruptor, and you even mentioned it, I think, during the draft. And they crushed it. I think that was the third game. I'm not sure. I think it was that series anyways. But it was something to behold, really. And this is something we've known for a while now, is that this hero is almost synonymous with Whitebeard. And that's fine. It definitely deserves a second pick. It's interesting they go for the Naga Siren first. What's also interesting is that Yawar is known to play this in the safe lane and play it as a carry.
Yeah.
So they definitely could go for that. They have a lot of options, obviously. And that's, again, the start of a really good draft, is just having all of your bases covered. That's exactly what Summer's Rift have.
Some people say, I've heard this from the mouth of a couple of pros, that sometimes when you need to get a win, you get Naga. And it's more of a core Naga. That's what they're referring to, at least. So who knows? Maybe Summer's Rift don't want to be already put down in a 0-2 position early on in this best-of-5 series. They want to make sure they can quickly claim one back their way. And look at these bans they dish out here. Ridding of the Bloodseeker and the Huskar, two of the more grotesque, manliest heroes in the game. Maybe fearing they're going to be going pretty hefty in the magic department. Don't have a whole lot of burst to deal with a scary Husk that could pop up here. But I still just can't help but get percolated over this Darkseer grab as I glance over the recent pick history here of Root Gaming. Darkseer is something that hasn't really been in their competitive repertoire, at least of what they ran. Again, scrims could be something completely different, but Fluff, almost a mad scientist. He certainly has the hair to match Maut. He definitely knows what he's doing. He's trying to be up there in the ranks of like PPD and the whole Western scene drafting.
Yeah, I mean, he's had some crazy picks before. He definitely has pioneered a lot, at least in the North American scene. At least you think about his Visage play. He didn't pioneer it, but he was definitely one of the innovators of the hero. And obviously, Support Mirana was one of his biggest heroes for the longest time. So You know, Fluff has definitely got some ideas about certain heroes, and Darkseer, again, I guess you do have a 1-0 advantage. There's definitely no reason why you shouldn't try something, but it's just interesting they go for it this early on into the draft. They're using a lot of reserve time. This draft is certainly not going by quickly. They'll go for the Storm next. And Storm with Dazzle pretty solid, keeping him up and alive so that he can continue to jump around and be effective. Although they picked the Storm into the Disruptor, which is kind of interesting. So we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, that always kind of raises a flag. I feel like we saw this not long ago, maybe not yesterday, but the day before the Storm pick into Disruptor, and I made that same point. I'm just like, it's always sketchy. Disruptor is something I like to go for when I'm playing my raid games, and they go for that first big Storm. I'm like, you know what? I'm probably going to go Disruptor because, you know, screw you and your Storm Spirit spamming. It's very nice to have. Easy setup after a glimpse to get the guaranteed static Storm. You end up having to force Storm Spirit into either that Yules or BKB route, which he does not like to be in, wants to be more offensive and farm intensive, whether it's picking up a Bloodstone or an Orchid. If you risk putting him in a defensive position, where they also have the base covered, where if he decides to go BKB, they already have Ensnare for Naga as well. Now he can always just kind of fall away from trouble, I suppose, but
yeah,
they have a good way of just being able to already address this Storm Spirit. Now I'm still feeling a bit nervous. Also, does TC typically play the Storm mid lane? I feel like this is a Monkeys Forever, like maybe safe lane Storm. I don't know why. That seems to be tickling my fancy here.
It's definitely not something TC plays that often. It's like on par with how often Korok plays this year, which is not very.
Now, if I look back, one of the last times they did run it, it was a Monkeys Forever Storm Spirit, and they ended up picking a Shadow Fiend for TC. Now, this was them on Radiant side, of course, so I would not be surprised if this is still going to stay a safe lane Storm Spirit and they could grab something for TC. Maybe that Templar Assassin does end up coming out, but he does not know yet who he will have to face, or at least Fluff doesn't know yet who TC would have to face. And in the meantime, Champions of Summer's Rift get the IX My Classic at the Clockwork.
What we always talk about, too, and another good hero that has not been banned out, assuming that Naga Siren can be played as a support by Summer's Rift, is the Anti-mage for Ewar.
Yes.
That hero is so strong currently in this metagame. It's not like top tier pick or ban, but it's like that next tier. It's almost like that tier 2 of picks or bans in this current patch. And as we approach TI, I think more teams are comfortable with the hero. I mean, the guy's been around forever. Anti-mage has been in the game forever, in Dota 2 and forever, and teams have really realized how to play him as long as you can keep him safe. And with Disruptor and a Naga Siren, very easy safe lane. Root go for the Omni Knight, though. And that's multiple heal support duo, I think.
That's ultra defensive right here.
Yeah, that's crazy. They have no lockdown, though, until the Storm gets that pull, though.
Can't help but feel like there's another brainchild draft of good old Brian Fluff and stuff. This seems very defensive, unless they're trying to pull something fast on us here. Seems a bit peculiar to me. They do end up going for the AM, as you pointed out. What I was going to add on top of your discussion was, it is into a Darkseer, which could prove to be a little troublesome, even in the early laning stage. Dealing with those ion shells a bit. You better hope you have the regen to back it up, and Wall could end up working against Summer's Rift lineup if he's able to get a good snag of like AM, let's say. So it is a bit peculiar, but the more fruitful thing is that AM can use Storm Spirit as a weapon against his own team if he does make a committed jump in and he's able to pop off a huge mana void. And we know Yawar is ridiculous at being able to farm, and it works with beautiful efficiency. He's looking to get that Battle Fury in good time, but I just can't help but feel like Root Gaming, they should have suspected this, and I feel like they're almost going to be prepared for what an AM could bring.
Yeah, and we saw actually that matchup last night, the Darkseer versus the Anti-mage, and I believe Mojo Stormstone was playing the Darkseer for Archon, and the AM just crushed with the help of like a Wyvern, and I think it was a Naga Siren or something. And they have a Naga here for Summer's Rift, so they have lockdown for a Darkseer. He's not going to be able to escape that easily. Anti-mage can chew through with the mana break, and Disruptor can bring him back with the glimpse. This is actually a very tough offlane for a Darkseer. So maybe they pair him up with the Omni Knight just to keep him alive and then go for like a 2-1-2 or even a Dazzle. But that, of course, means that you're not going to be as efficient in gaining levels, gaining farm, getting early mech maybe. But just getting experience is, I think, the most important thing. I think Summer's Rift have a really good draft, and I really do have to wait and see how Storm Spirit's going to play mid and how this Omni Knight's going to pan out. But if I'm just looking at the safe lane for Summer's Rift and the off lane for Root Gaming, it's looking pretty bad currently.
Yeah, I can't help but feel like something is going to have to be adjusted in some sort of way, whether Root decide to go more aggro or add some pressure onto this AM or what it may be. One thing we don't know yet is both mid laners yet to be grabbed. Still some good options out there. That Shadow Fiend still has made his way through the banning phase altogether. Wind Ranger, something that has been picked up from time to time. Razor has been a Root classic for a while and something that they could go for TC. Or if they do anticipate a long game and they want to have something to counter back against this AM, what are other good options there? Are they...
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, this has got to be... I would imagine still a TC. Ooh, the Lycan.
Wow.
The Lycan.
Radiant team pick.
Haven't seen this guy in a while.
So,
all right.
Does this mean Lycan safe lane Storm Spirit mid coming up for Root Gaming? And does that mean TC still plays the mid laner, or does Monkeys Forever grab it? I think Monkeys Forever is a pretty efficient mid laner.
Yeah.
Also, Lycan mids, I mean, it's a thing, depending on who he's going up against. So, I don't know, man. That is a strange pick for sure.
I'm gonna go back and look at this one more time. Now, they did at the time.
10 seconds.
See.
Again, and this is another problem, is that there's going to be kinetic field, there's going to be ensnare, so even if you do get a BKB, there's still going to be ways to lock him down, to be able to glimpse him back. Clockwork, very good against a Lycan.
Yeah.
Lycan's pretty good against right-clicking an Anti-mage for sure, but maybe split push is Root's idea. They're like, okay, we know that there's going to be an Anti-mage, we can maybe just split push and try to pressure elsewhere, and then Magnus is the take-up for Summer's Rift. They're going to give this AM some extra cleave here early on to this game.
I'm just happy.
This is a crazy game. This is a crazy draft, man. I'm very excited. This is gonna be fun as hell.
I think Magnus has quickly become my favorite hero to cast. Like, it's just so recognizable when it's going to be a big RP and a huge setup, and even on the whiffed RPs, you just know. Similar to like your Echo Slams, your Black Holes. These guys are crowd pleasers. Looking forward to it. Love this synergy between Magnus and AM. I mean, I don't know if it's full-fledged enough that he doesn't have to consider going a Battle Fury because you have the Empower, but it will only make the cleave that much greater. And if Brax gets a huge catch onto what feels like a pretty elusive lineup for Root, you're talking Surge from Darkseer, your jumps from Storm, your ridiculous race car speed from Lycan. If he's able to get the big catch, it could be destruction. And you already talked about it. They have the Clockwork, and they have the Disruptor to help out. A Song. Gotta say, on paper, I can't help but feel like Champions of Summer's Rift have put together a stronger draft. But maybe for Root Gaming, they got something up their sleeve, and they're going to look to change things up and kind of set things forward. I'm not sure if you agree with that or not, Maut.
No, I agree with you completely. But obviously, we don't know everything, and like you said, there's something that Root could pull out potentially. But from our... they're giving small chat. Just some nice words.
Mike showing off his pretty cool Clockwork set, some sort of crazy bird mecha set I'm showing off right now. Pretty neat.
Yeah, it's not bad. All right, Mike, I feel you. But Root Gaming, yeah, I'd agree in the sense that they have a tough time ahead of them. And if Root Gaming are able to pull this game out and get this series to 2-0, that's soul crushing is the term I would use for Summer's Rift.
Yeah.
I don't know how you come back when you're down 2-0. What did he just do? I missed it.
Is that a taunt?
30 seconds.
What the hell is that?
That's Stu the robot, man. Oh my god.
I'm sorry. I broke the cardinal rule of all chat, but I was like, is he loading up script hacks or something?
No,
it was so crazy.
It's NA Dota, man. There's no cardinal rule about
my immersion is completely broken.
Yeah, there's somebody in chat that's like, Dakota, what are you doing? How dare you?
Okay, Mike, though, happy to take his new wicked moves to the top rune here. A full-out brawl. Almost
Guess
commences.
what? They have no lockdown. This is the issue, man. If they had any stun, they might get a kill. But they have what? What do they have, Dakota? What do they have to lock anybody down? They got a level 1 electric vortex?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Moo's just chasing Whitebeard down. Whitebeard's like, you gotta be kidding me.
He's like, don't you have a lane to go to?
No, he's fine.
He didn't miss a lot of time for that.
Yeah.
He's gonna miss out on one full wave. Doesn't seem like much, but...
I think Whitebeard's actually happy about that.
Get Glimpse and send him back to the mid lane. Make him go even longer.
Do
it.
Gonna do it. Yes!
Oh, that is just a dirty disruptor right there. My boy, Whitebeard. That's how you do. That much longer.
Whitebeard, what are you complaining about, man? You just wasted, like, a full creep wave. You are going to deny most of this here in a moment. He's missed, like, 3 creeps. Wow.
Okay. So Moo set off a bit irked here, and this also means they can get this creep equilibrium pretty damn low. This is going to be a rough start for Moo. We'll see, though. It is a Darkseer after all. You always get maybe a little bit of reliable farm with those Ion Shells. You got to remember the duration has been increased. Thank you very much, Ice Frog. Now easily able to get to 2, maybe even 3 Ion Shells. Does force the lane forward, and it can be a bit tricky for Naga to farm, having to juggle around those Ion Shells a bit, but Or not Naga, sorry. I was thinking Yawar was still playing the Naga for whatever reason, but he has to kind of deal with the damage coming out from these ion shells, but he'll still be able to get the CS and certainly the XP.
Well, I mean, as soon as he gets to that value point in the spell shield, this damage is not going to be that great. He's not going to go for it yet. He'll get it at level 3 more than likely. The good old 1-1-1, 2 points in stats, burning build that we see so very often is probably... Maybe he gets an extra point in spell shield. I'm not 100% sure. And Whitebeard will probably just right-click the ion shield creep down as much as possible. Yawar's going to get really good lane equilibrium. It's always going to be pushed under his tower. And with the Quelling Blade, he should not be missing a single CS, even with the tower hitting it. This one he might miss. No, he gets it. So he's doing a pretty good job. And I want to point out that this game is probably 100% on Monkeys Forever. And he's even going to get ensnared right now. They have a skewer back. They're going to hit it. They have no mana for the Shockwave, though. So that's kind of interesting. But Monkeys Forever is trying to juke his way out of here. The flare flying through, they have the Riptide, they skilled up the Purification. Wow, they can't get that kill. You have to wonder maybe if they just go for the Shockwave instead of that skewer back. That might have been the better choice.
Considers dancing around Demon a bit. Demon forced to walk face first into, but what the hell happened? Bottom lane, Moo gets a solo pick on the Disruptor here.
Moo was,
all that action's breaking out.
Was he chasing Moo under the tower? You look at where he died. Moo died underneath the opposing tier 1 tower. So I think Moo like salved up and then just kind of kited Whitebeard into his death, which is not great. That's rather interesting. Okay.
Not expected, but certainly well played from Moo. This was after that bit of a lost start for the early CS movement, but he's able to recover, and that certainly will help out. Whitebeard has to return back to lane here and kind of just do with the creep pull in the meantime. Maybe was just kind of doing the pulls and got caught out from Moo and really had nowhere to run and nothing available to glimpse him and keep him back. And now we look at the trade mid lane. Monkeys Forever after that little bit of shenanigans. Still at top of CS 18-0. No surprise. Giving Brax a run for his money. Who's sporting a 13-1. Top lane Mike going to get harassed just a little bit of early poison touch level here from Fun. As he gets the 1-1-1 build at his level 3. Not really surprised by much of that. But hey, you look at Mike. He's 3.5. 6 CS. Moo, though, 12 CS, and he's about to be level 5, so definitely getting the better of these two offlaners.
Yeah. This is to be expected, though. It's a Darkseer. Iron Shell's going to net you some CS regardless of what happens. I will say there was a period in time where Monkeys Forever was crushing mid lane. It's pretty even now. And again, there's a lot on Monkeys Forever, and I think they know this on the side of Summer's Rift. They've already rotated Whitebeard over. He has level 2 Glimpse, which is a great ganking utensil. But instead of going for the kill, he backswayed because there wasn't comfortable maybe going for it. Maybe just trying to find that bottom tier or bottom rune. It's going to be Invis. However, Fluff's going to walk up. The skewer from Brax, will he get there in time? He does. And now Fluff is maybe in some trouble. They have the Observer Ward. They're going to have the Glimpse here. They're going to bring it back. And Brax is definitely positioned. They're not even going to skewer him. They don't need to. They already used it, by the way. Shockwave's going to go for Brax. They get the kill with the Time of Strike. And just an unfortunate position for Fluff to be in.
Yep, thought he could grab it, but Brax, almost like a slide to home plate, able to quickly grab that Invis and turn it right back around. So Fluff will be caught up.
More sports ball references for those of you out there.
Yeah, sports ball, you know. I don't know. I don't know D&D reference I guess I could make. I don't know. Maybe people
let me pull out my player's handbook here real quick, and I have no idea.
Maybe an anime reference will go a bit better.
Maybe. I don't know, man. We're getting into some real geeky territory here. That's all I'm saying.
It's Dota. 2-1. Champions of Summer's Rift off to a nice early advancement here in the laning phase, though Root getting the better of the laning farm, hold a better net worth and XP advantage here in game number 2 of this best of 5. And I did like the bit of synergy that Summer's Rift were showing off with the Ensnare Skewer combo. Have not fallen back for it yet. Instead, having Demon continue to be by the side now of Mike. Mike happy to kind of move up here, but TC continues to free farm a bit with the assistance of his Wolves. He's sporting the 32 and 8 CS, matching toe-to-toe with Yawar on the other side of the globe at 32 and 3.
If you look at this draft of Summer's Rift and you look at who's playing what hero, you have to feel very confident. Mike playing Clockwork, Whitebeard playing Disruptor, Yawar playing Anti-mage, Demon playing a good support hero. I mean, like, this is everything they could have asked for, maybe short of Brax getting a tough laning stage in the Magnus, but he's got good team fight. And for Root, it's not anywhere close to being similar. They have a really good start for the Lycan for TC. Monkeys Forever has been doing really well. He's level 6 now. He's got up to 35 CS. Even Moo, Moo's got 31 CS, so they're actually doing pretty well in almost every lane.
Yeah.
They're winning at least 2.5 lanes here, I'd argue. But will that continue on is the question. Summer's Rift have that potential to take over the game later on down the road. It's a very quiet start so far. We'll see what breaks out here. They rotated up Demon top lane. He's looking to help out and maybe trying to secure this kill on the Lycan. Is the Lycan 6 yet? No. Level 5, and even if he is 6, there is that ensnare. There's the Clockwork Cogs and Hookshot to go forward, but he's not even 6 yet, so... Okay, Moo's getting wrapped on bottom lane. Whitebeard has his level 2. Glimpse no statics from obviously only level 4.
They're going on Moo. He does have Surge. Surges his way into a kinetic field, though. Drops the wall and the vacuum. It's not going to be enough. Moo will go down. Good quick chop. Nice rotation and assistance from Demon. And it is going to be, of course, Whitebeard who sets up the assist. Uh-oh. Fun also here nearby. Dishes out the poison. Does have a glimpse here. Could pull him back. Will pull him back. And a kinetic field follow-up. Puts him face first. Nice placement. Dishes out the grave. Helps slow them down as much as possible, but ultimately it's going to be the same fate. Fun will get dropped, and it's going to be Yawar who does get the last hit. Now 2-0 for this AM.
Yeah, that's huge. Those two kills are particularly important. And I think Fun was realizing he's like, okay, there's no salve, or he's really low. He's going to have to go home and regen. He didn't know there was a salve on top of Yawar. Yawar salves up, comes back. Doesn't even need Mana Void because there's a greatly placed kinetic field coming out from the Disruptor, and they make it work. So Yawar gets 2 quick kills. He's up to a Ring of Health, Ring of Regen, which we've seen more and more often recently, just to build into that Blades for Vlad's later on down the road. He's got a Band of Elven Skin, which I'm sure is part of his treads. And from that point, Yawar he's getting there. I mean, obviously not a great start for Summer's Rift, but they're starting to turn things on with Yawar getting some decent farm. He's up to 41 last hits, liking up to 50 currently in that top lane. He's going to be going through Vlad's, I'm sure. Monkeys Forever, what is he building? That's the big question. Just as the treads, just as the null tally. So we don't know if he's going for the Orchid, which is really good against an Anti-mage and even good against Magnus. Or if he goes for that blood.
Top, they're making a move on to TC. They got the ensnare and the battery assault, but he goes right into wolf form and says, see you later. No chase down here. Mike, no mana for a hook shot, but does have the charges if he needed to. But no, Pop of the Rocket says they're not going to move any further. TC pulls off into the jungle to farm. And speaking of jungle farm, Monkeys Forever working with a ridiculously girthy stack is going to farm his way right through it. Gets the soul ring. So there's your answer, Maut. Going to be going down the path of a Bloodstone. Bottom lane, Whitebeard going to be sending back Moo with a glimpse and avoids a bit of harassment trouble there. So a little confrontation from each side, but still Root Gaming continue to farm, and I was wagering at some point TC will probably also step off from his lane, get some farm, because these supports will need a little bit of me time. It looks like Fluff's going to find it in the mid lane. Would love to get to his level 6. Brax is keeping an eye on him, though. It's like, if you're here alone, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, on the other side, Yawar is going to get up his Battle Fury, and then maybe they get some support to farm up to this bottom lane. And whether that's Demon or whether that's Whitebeard remains to be seen. I'm wondering if, and I know this is probably unlikely, Monkeys Forever just builds a Soul Ring and then goes into that Orchid, because I think Orchid's a really good choice this game. Going for that defensive Bloodstone build is definitely not a bad idea, but I think you can't really pass up how much Orchid could actually give you. The silence is good against almost every hero in this particular game.
And if you can grab that Orchid before Yawar gets his Manta, you can go for as many picks as possible before he's actually able to evade that silence.
Which is, that's definitely a possibility, because, I mean, like, almost every Anti-mage I've seen recently has built that Vlad's right after the Treads and Battle Fury. And he has the Ring of Regen, which signifies that he's probably going to build the Headdress and inevitably the Vlad's as well, so there's that opportunity. Brax is looking to get his Blink Dagger, but Skewer onto Monkeys Forever. He's got the RP. Is he going to use it? Brax gets purified. Anticlimactic death for the Magnus. The Horde Man goes down to the top of his lane in mid. That's going to be it.
Bottom lane, Moo making a move. At the same moment, also top, they're also making a move on TC, but they decide to pull back. Moo looking to move forward, gets a vacuum back onto Moo. Whitebeard going to be forced to send him back with a glimpse. Can the Fun get the right click? Oh, yes, he can. Now, Wand not going to be enough. Looked like he might have been able to etch away with just a pixel of health, but not going to be the case. They get their pick.
Is Poison Touch lethal? I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. There are certain poisons that aren't lethal in the game, and I think that's one of the ones that is.
Yeah.
It would have killed him. He had the debuff on him anyways. It probably would have killed him. The right click was just a way to secure it, though, and that's fine. So Fawn's actually getting involved here. He's level 5. Might not go for that early, rather, not grave. I can't remember the ultimate's name. I'm just going to look at it real quick. The Weave. Wow, I lost it there for whatever reason.
All right.
Close game so far. I think Again, we talked about Summer's Rift draft and how good they could be and how good they're going to be. But Root are getting a lot out of this Storm and out of this Lycan. And they're not going to be as easy to deal with as we thought.
Yeah. The good comeback could be Brax being able to finish out this Blink Dagger. He's getting close to it.
Yeah.
And Mike adventuring away from his off lane at that point and them getting their own setup. Mid lane, they get some hefty harassment here on the Fluff. It looked like Demon might have been thinking about stepping forward with the ensnare. Doesn't opt to go for it yet. They get a good ensnare skewer setup. That Fluff could be dead. But he plays in more of a reserve position near the tower. Brax continues to farm up, getting very close to that Blink. Looking to just finish that outright. While bottom lane, Whitebeard continues to be side by side with his buddy Yawar. And we already touched base with him. He's got his Perseverance now complete, looking to finish out his own little Battle Fury.
Moo is having a fantastic time, man. Look at this. His mech's pretty much done here. He will have to surge away. They're going to glimpse him back. He's more than likely dead now. Yeah, it's Static Storm and Cogs just so they can get this kill. They don't even need the Mana Void coming through Yawar, but all the meanwhile, look at this tower. They're going to grab a Tier 1 tower and put pressure on this bottom lane already at 12.5 minutes in. Usually you have to rotate 2-3 heroes down to try to take that tower. They get it done with pretty much Moo just chipping away with creeps and his Iron Shell doing work on heroes. TC's going to get ensnared top lane. He's going to go ahead and use his shapeshift. Brax has the RP skewer he's looking for, but TC just hightails it out of there. And Brax does not go for the skewer RP. He had his first instinct correct. If he had skewered an RP there, he probably would have gotten that kill. It might have been close.
Yeah.
But he doesn't want to go for anything now, especially with how close he is to this Blink Dagger, and he has enough money for it currently.
Yeah, it almost looked like there was a second where he could have just RP'd right after the TP to catch him. But, yeah, I would wager, like you said, looking to save up and get the secured Blink Dagger before getting too excited. Could go for a bigger team wipe kind of situation instead of the TC solo pick. Still on the prowl, now has his Blink Dagger, heads back towards the mid lane at this point. Fluff now level 7 on his Omni Knight. Looks like he might go down the road of picking up a Glimmer Cape, then maybe Greaves in the future, just holding his Arcanes for now. But he's just going to have to be the savior here. No TP on hand yet, so if there's trouble that breaks out here on the bottom lane, he won't be there to assist. Moo's looking to move in. Vacuums through, sees Yawar, who's going to slip out the back door. Mild trades from both sides, nothing too serious as of yet.
Very passive game other than a couple of towers going down, but this is the point in the game where we're going to see a big shift. Blink Dagger's now out for Brax. They have a couple of big items on the side of Root as well. It's time to, I think, start going. And Root want to put pressure on this Anti-mage. Summer's Rift do not want to allow that. They have a very good Observer Ward. Demon does have his song, but Moo is going to surge himself away. They won't be able to get in range. The Repel even comes out for the Omni Knight just to secure their retreat. But this is where it's going to get tricky, Dakota, is this 15-minute mark. You want to keep farming in Yawar, but that means you're going to have to play as forward. You're going to have to try and find picks. And Root, they want to make sure they can try to get some aggression going, whether through the Storm Spirit, whether through another hero. Yawar is not going to feel comfortable. He's got his Perseverance. Meanwhile, they're going to find Mood. They're going to get the Static Storm off with the Ensnare. Might be another death for this poor Darkseer. And Yawar comes in casual. Anti-mage contribution.
Yep.
One right click is all that it takes. And he's like, thank you very much. I will take that gold.
And I will take these creeps. Thank you for bringing them down with that Static Storm. And he just gets a little bit of everything for it. A lot of love for this AM. We go back to bottom. Now they put pressure onto Fluff. Quickly throws up the Repel. And it's not going to help him from the RP. A committed RP, but what a grave save. Don't think it's going to be enough, though. Fluff still in trouble. Walk through the Valley of the Shadow of Death. He does get a Purify. Skewer, man, he's really making Brax work for this. All the meanwhile, Yawar is going to get the cleanup kill, grabbing that Dazzle. Fluff somehow still alive. Will end up going down. Ends up being both supports on the side of Root here. All the meanwhile, though, look at this pressure at the top lane.
Oh, Roche.
And they're going into Roche. I was like, where's TC at? He's got to be doing something. He certainly is. He's in the Roche pit, and he just secured the Aegis for Monkeys Forever.
That is some Marshawn Lynch level play, to use another sports ball reference, as there's Fluff in the tree line, pops up the freaking Purification, and just barrels his way through the trees and makes sure he wastes as much time as possible, while inevitably TC is, of course, taking that Roche. Meanwhile, TC is going to lose that Aegis very quickly. No, they give the Aegis to Monkeys. So TC just dies bottom lane. He walks into a world of hurt. Yawar and the rest of crew of Summer's Rift get an easy kill. Now mid lane, Monkeys Forever. Shockwave going. Whitebeard looking for a glimpse. They don't have the.
Oh, they got him! The big glimpse from Whitebeard to bring Monkeys
He's out of
Forever.
mana, dude.
Right
He's
back.
out of mana.
He's done for. Right into
Aegis,
a beautiful kinetic field setup. Brax is going to look to chop him down, but look who it is. It's Fun. And he should be able to get the grave off. Yep, he will. Mike's still in pursuit, though. Decides to take out Dazzle. 9 seconds for a follow-up rocket, but hey, justified save coming out from Fun right there.
Things have really broken out. Fluff was getting chased down by Yawar. This is what I was talking about. 15 minutes into the game, things start getting hot and heavy from both sides, really. Summer's Rift find a couple of neat kills. Root find Roche. Yawar going to be a big problem, as always. Mike's starting to contribute. He really wanted to wait, I think, for his Blade Mail before he started fighting. He's got it now. He's ready to go. Song's up and ready for Demon. He can start setting up fights if he wants to. And Brax has the Blink Dagger. He already used his RP once to get a good kill. He might even go for 4 staff next, just so he has that extra slide and mobility. Which is what we see the Magnus Master, Arise, go for that, you know, Blink Force, maybe that Refresher Orb combo. Brax is looking to get the same done later on down the road. Maybe goes for a BKB just to be a bit safer later on. But Monkeys Forever is going to complete up the Bloodstone. Will not go for that Orchid. He's got to try to push this tier 1 tower. They're getting it ready here. Song could go, and it's going to start off with Demon. Static Storm is about to be placed down. The Kinetic will go first. Song about to be interrupted.
Oh
into
my!
The Static Storm. RP onto 3. Shockwave's going to go. They haven't taken anyone down yet. Big Mana Void. Monkeys Forever. Ball Lightning's away. Purification keeps Buff alive. Guardian Angel keeping him up and fighting. And that was an amazing team fight. That should have went better. But my God, where there's some critical saves coming out from that Dazzle with the Grave and the Purification Fluff. Really good stuff from Root Gaming. It turns it actually into a 1-for-1, and they didn't even use that Aegis on Monkeys Forever.
I mean, the clearly very defensive lineup showing its strong defense against what should be a flare of team fight from Champions of Summer's Rift, but it's proven to be a bit too difficult. This Root lineup, very durable. Fluff had just got that level 9 to get the Guardian Angel. Oh, Monkey's making the long track star jump. Looking to go for Brax. Can he get it? He's going for it. He got it. Now he's got to get the hell out of there. 250 mana. The Glimp's going to bring him all the way back, closer to the tower and right into Mike's arms. He's going to get the Glimmer help from Fluff, and he is still good. My God, the paramedic boys right here of Fun and Fluff really going into overtime.
The Purification and then the Repel right afterwards has been so critical. Actually, I don't even think he purified him. It's just the Repel that did work. The Battery Soul not doing anything, obviously. Yeah, the Glimmer Cape first and foremost. Monkeys Forever is starting to become a big problem. He might even gain a lot of these Bloodstone charges, and it's going to be tough to bring him down. You need to go for a BKB to be ultra defensive. You have Purification, you have BKB, you have Shallow Grave. How are they going to chew through all of this? I think one of those answers is to get a Diffusal Blade, but you have no natural Diffusal Blade carriers besides an Naga Siren, and Demon is nowhere near that item. It's not even close, really. Anti-mage is not going to be able to Diffusal Blade. That's not a good idea, ever. And it's going to be tough. They're just going to have to hope they can brute force through the Root defensive posture. Monkeys Forever is just chewing through this tier 1 tower mid.
There's just too many targets to go for. You think about who would be the prime target for the side of Root. You go for one, it's going to leave, you know, if you decide to go for the Omni Knight, maybe you get rid of him, you get rid of the Purify, the Repel, and that Guardian Angel, but then Dazzle's going to be right there ready to go. Gets his own grave and his own save. Monkeys again looking for a long jump onto Brax. This time he skewers below, and oh man, gets the pullback. Vacuum from Moo, Purify, and Brax is dead. And he wants more. Monkeys Forever committing in for Demon now. Demon should go down here. Makes it to the high ground. Will he miss? Gets the Repel. Monkeys is going in deep. Got it.
Oh my God. He's diving a tier 3 tower at 19.5 minutes. They haven't even taken the tier 1 yet, for God's sakes. Mike is going to go ahead and use his cogs just to make sure they don't bring down himself with, of course, him TPing out with Fluff nearby. I can't believe this draft is working out so well. You have the added bonus of Monkeys Forever on the Storm Spirit, who's already tough to take down in his own right. You give him Repel. You give him Purification. You give him Shallow Grave. You give him Shadow Wave. How are you supposed to kill the Storm Spirit? TC doesn't even need to do anything in this game. And Summer's Rift have to find a way to just chew through this lineup. I don't know what they're going to do. It doesn't matter that you are so farmed. He's got his Vlads.
They just don't die. They do not die. They are like those bugs you squish in your napkin, and you open the napkin, the thing's still alive. Like, what the hell? It's just a testament again to Fluff. Almost feels premeditated the way he put these drafts together. They seem to be working out beautifully according to plan. And what I thought would be just... I mean, you look at the Summer's Rift lineup, and you think this is a Noob from UA highlight incoming. RP, Static Storm, huge Mana Void to pop up the Storm Spirit. Hook shots. It's just like, not enough. Not enough to break through. And, you know, I almost wondered that maybe the lack of offense that Root Game will be able to bring in because they invested so much in their defense could be a problem. doesn't prove to be here. They always have the option to move for those split objectives with the help of the Lycan. I mean, it's clear that it's going to take just a whole lot of sweat and muscle power for Summer's Rift to finish off the 4-man squad. Imagine TC doing work on one of the side lanes. It's going to be like there's really nothing left to give.
I think if Monkeys Forever gets a BKB and has like 15 to 20 Bloodstone charges, games, I wouldn't call it impossible, but it's very difficult to chew through Monkeys Forever with Purification, with Repel. Again, they might even just have to invest into a Diffusal Blade eventually on the Naga side, or on some hero, and I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
Gotta give
so much
props to Yawar, though. I mean, when you look at the net worth, you'd think it'd be a bit more dramatic for Root. It's really not. Yawar has been putting in the time to build up his own farm. He's king of the net worth right now. By a fair margin, Maut. 3K plus. That's a big item difference between him and the next closest, which is Monkeys.
We've seen this before, Dakota. We've seen where anti-mages have been amazingly farmed, and they just haven't been able to care for their team, whether through the draft or because the other team is just crushing. And that looks to be the case again. Monkeys is the long jump on the Demon. Demon does have Song. They don't have the Static Storm. Good usage of the Mirror Image, but he doesn't even pop the Song up. He just dies at the Mirror Image. Monkeys Forever just destroys there. Down for 33 seconds. They're going to try to go for this tier 2 tower. They want to pressure as much as possible again.
Yeah, just wanted to reserve the Song. It's a little too early, and still at level 1. It'd be on cooldown far too long, and they need that Song for that ideal setup between himself, the Disruptor, and probably Brax and his Magnus RP, allowing someone like Yawar to kind of clean house, who's currently trying to do a little bit of cleanup duty mid lane, trying to wipe down a tier 1. Does get it. Monkeys tries to get there in time for the deny. Not going to happen. They get their own tier 2, though, as Root on that top grab. So it's still a significant map advantage right now for Root Gaming. We'll just have to see if the farm is going to be in favor for Summer's Rift to kind of hold what feels like the inevitable high ground defense, which could be coming their way.
This Brax Magnus he's gotten some really good RPs, but again, and I don't want to touch on the topic too much because we've already talked it to death, but the defensive posture of the game has just been outstanding. As you mentioned, we saw that team fight with the Static Storm, with the Mana Void, with all that stuff happening. Root do not break a sweat with their defensive abilities, and it did Root just going down the checklist. This is a different type of death ball altogether. This is the you can't kill us type of death ball. There's nothing you can do, and TC will lead the way up under the tier 2 tower. We saw Brax doing this last game with Yawar. Now he's delegated to the split pushing duty. And he'll take down the tier 2 tower, maybe push into that tier 3. All the meanwhile, Root's still getting a lot out of the map. They're getting, map control. They're getting the tier 2 mid. But they will have to defend this tier 3, I think, at some point. They're going to have to TP back home.
They want that home run setup, but it's not there. They want to cancel TPs, maybe? Not in time. Not in time to catch TC. TC's able to make it back to where Yawar is moving in. They were hoping for some sort of setup, but very good positioning from Root. They stay in that Delta split. Now they don't even get the tier 2 down. It still stands. Glimpse. Whitebeard. Not going to be close enough, and Monkeys Forever just goes a bit too far. That range, though, is ridiculous. You have to jump very far to avoid it.
Oh, they throw it on an Observer Ward. They know exactly where Root is. Demon's like, oh my god, I need to leave now. But the jump is going to come in. And good force from Mike, though.
Is it enough? It is with the help of the kinetic field. Monkeys makes a long dive, loses half his mana pool, and decides not to follow up. Instead, they put their pressure towards top. Yawar already there. Still always find the lane to farm, and this time Monkeys is going to jump all the way in. No more mana to work with.
Got a regen.
But yeah, he's got a regen to fall back on. Yawar, he's like, I can pop him. I can pop him. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Big damage. Monkeys is in trouble. Needs to get the grave help from Fun. Moose shows up as well, and Monkeys is going to be fine. Help always there. Within arm's reach, it feels like.
Yeah, he made him use the regen rune, though. So Monkeys is going to have to wait for his Bloodstone to start kicking in. And yeah, I mean, that's a cheeky play. Meanwhile, bottom, TC was almost caught out. He shapeshifts. He's able to get out of there. His Necro 2 now coming through. Hookshot onto a wall. Mike's like, God damn it. And that'll be that. The pace is slowed down for this game significantly. As much as Summer's Rift need to find a way to deal with, Root Gaming's defensive lineup, Root need to find a way to deal with Anti-mage who's still pushing and will be all over the map, essentially. Again, they don't have lockdown. That's the inherent issue. That's what we were talking about at the draft, is we thought this was going to be a big deal if they don't have lockdown for an Anti-mage, especially now that he's Manta style.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to matter.
Well, they are going to be able to sneak out this Rosh. It looks like TC already puts in the hefty workload, but Monkeys Forever will clean up and grab the Aegis. That means TC's book the good book, I like to call it, going to be upgraded now to level 2, halfway to that level 3 mark. And they might just continue to build up the pressure. It feels like potentially, again, another lineup where Root Gaming looking to end this one out before things go too far and too long. And you can already see the pressure that Yawar is trying to help out. Good split push top lane. Now he does not TP, maybe hoping to make a jump on the Moo. No, goes back in even deeper, but still stalks and waits for maybe Moo to kind of depart, and then he can kind of pick up from where he left off.
The good old split push from the Anti-mage. It is keeping them in this game. It's going to allow them to start getting some farm elsewhere. And yeah, and that's exactly what I thought. Demon has picked up a Blade of Alacrity. Diffusal is on its way. Is it going to be there in time is the question. Who knows?
Smoke. Movement now coming out from Root here. I think they want to see if they can catch out any sort of split pushing in this top lane or someone farming on the side. Not the case, though. Whitebeard was up top, but he's already on the way out. Bottom lane, Yawar and TC breaking out. Oh, nice catch from Brax here. And he's not going to be able to race car away from that. Exclamation comes out from Yawar, gets him with the Mana Void. That's all she wrote. TC's going to be going down the rest of his squad, adding pressure on the top lane. Nonetheless, a good pick here for Summer's Rift.
Takes a pick. That's a big kill. TC hasn't had the biggest impact in this game, but his team is still playing around him nonetheless. This is going to free up the bottom lane for Yawar to push in towards that tier 3 tower. Maybe put some pressure there. Force out a TP already coming in from the Storm Spirit. Monkeys Forever with 11 Bloodstone charges has a Mystic Staff, which the beginnings of Shiva's or Scythe, who knows. I'm sure either are fine. I think Scythe's a really good option, obviously, against the Anti-mage. Pry Manta out of that. That's what Monkeys will say. That's actually, I think, what he's going for, and that's going to provide him some extra damage as well. Moo's very farmed, too. He also has that flank. Static Storm on Fluff. They're going to try to glimpse him back, probably? No.
No, they already did. That's a bit off the mark. Disruptor's not going to have anything to use. Regardless, Yawar gets some good shots on the Moo. It's going to force him back. Mike gets the catch on the Fluff. Former teammates potentially going at it here. Fluff able to just easily get the repel, potentially walk away, not before an ensnare does lock him in his place. They can't break through. Still too much defense here with Fun nearby and Fluff. The F-boys. They're going to be able to save anyone necessary and just allow their comrade to kind of go for objectives elsewhere. But you can almost say the same for Summer's Rift. Well, they're kind of getting caught up in arms. Yawar will continue to be on the side. Right now he's joined by Brax. With the help of course, your Empower makes things even easier for this AM to just kind of farm and push through these lanes.
Yeah, Anti-mage is doing his damnedest. Yawar, we talked about it earlier, above and beyond in the net worth graph, net worth chart, sitting at 18,000, next closest is 12,000. There's the Eagle song up for the Anti-mage, up for Yawar. He's looking towards that butterfly, but now, as he's pressuring the tier 2 tower, TC's going to go to work on the tier 3. He pops up the Necro Warriors. Brax will jump in, but there's the committed jump from Monkeys Forever. Gets the Electric Vortex. Whitebeard in trouble. Glimpse back. Not there yet. This repel is still going strong. No mana RP. Monkeys Forever still has that Aegis. Shiva's Guard at the ready. Might need to use it here. Does pop it off, but now the cog's up. Aegis expended, but making a lot of space here. Root going to work on this Rax again. Ensnare on TC. He doesn't mind. Glimmer K-pop on Monkeys Forever. He'll make his way out. Full set of Rax about to be taken at 30 minutes into the game for Root Gaming. Oof. And most of that on the back of Monkeys Forever. They're looking to go back in again. They're looking their chops here. They're ready to go.
Monkeys makes that full dive back and in. And, I mean, Demon, I admire he puts a great setup with a song and allows the rest of his team to deal with Monkeys, but it takes way too long to bring him down.
Right,
Plus,
exactly.
he has that Aegis. So the song does expire, and Monkeys is already back in action. They were hoping to finish him off probably by the end of the song duration, but with 2 lives and being as farmed as he is, it's just not going to be easy. And they end up walking away. TC just kind of the bulldozer here on his Lycan, able to just siege right through those racks. They go down, and it's feeling a bit like deja vu from game number 1. Rude Gaming just continue to go down that docket. Bottom lane next. Yawar, not caught yet. There's going to be the pullback. TC on the chase, though. In shapeshift. Brax, no RPing, but they get the glimpse help from Whitebeard, sending TC back. And instead, they'll probably segue this into a tier 2 push. But the pressure is definitely on Champions of Summer's Rift in this game.
Absolutely, and it's going to take a miracle, maybe something like that item that's being built by the Disruptor to actually have something go on. Some really good defensive play from Summer's Rift, though, forcing back the Anti-mage twice, once out of the Electric Vortex, and then a second time when he was disabled. And just making him so that he's super important, and AM is buying out. He knows that he needs to be at his full potential here to be effective. And if he dies, he's going to be down for 60, 70 seconds or something.
Yeah.
So it's clear that they're going to put as much defensive posture on Yawar as possible. And Root Gaming will just continue to go take these objectives, probably take this tier 2 tower, might try to pressure the tier 3 bottom, eventually wait for that Roshan to respawn, push out top lane. And one by one, Dakota, I mean, we should see exactly what we expect here.
And that last fight as well, I mean, I don't think a Guardian Angel had to be expended. The wall is still up and ready to go. They have Weave, I mean, already rip-roaring and ready. They'll break down this tier 2. Summer's Rift still need about 25 seconds before they got everything they want ready to play here. Brax waiting for that RP. They will have Static Storm. Song needs about 35 seconds or so to be ready. Clockwork with his hook shot. Probably looking more than likely they're going to have to hand over this tier 2, their last outer tower. And then Root Gaming are probably going to just double back with that and wait out for a Roche and then try to move into the high ground here. We're seeing a preemptive draw out here potentially from Yawar. I don't know if he's just kind of sketching a bit, but something will have to be done. I mean, you can't just kind of sit back with your backs against the walls in hopes that Root Gaming kind of do a bit of a misplay when they push their base. It's apparent that when even they get a good setup and an opportunity when someone dives like Monkeys Forever did, it just wasn't enough. They were still able to get the Rex.
Well, I think it comes down to what we saw last game, which was, okay, we have an initiating hero like an Earthshaker. This game it's the Magnus for Brax. You smoke it behind your tower, and then you try to get, obviously this is very hard, but you try to get a 5-man RP. If you get a 5-man RP, you win that fight, and maybe you even win the game off of that. Obviously, they still have a Rax that's down. They still have to go through tier 2 towers, so they won't win the game, but they'll get a pretty solid advantage if they can pick up that 5-man RP. Easier said than done, though, and anytime you have to hope and rely on a 5-man RP, 5-man Static Storm, you're in some trouble, right? I mean, that's how it goes.
I mean, we saw it there mid lane. There was a hopeful setup from Whitebeard to get that glimpse back Static Storm, but it was off the mark, and that allowed Root Gaming to kind of charge forward, knowing that it wasn't going to be there, ready for Summer's Rift. This tower was once standing at full life, now dead. Before I can even finish talking, just shows how quick that Root Gaming are be able to just follow up with these objectives. Now they'll step back, and this is where I anticipate them kind of waiting out the clock a bit for that Aegis, separating, moving back for farm. But look at this. Summer's Rift, they already take hold inside the Root Gaming woods. Maybe they wait for someone to kind of sneak in and get their own pick-off. Could happen from Moo.
They have to go for a play like this. And someone is walking up. It's Moo.
There he is. Hi. Boom! Oh my god, what the hell happened?
I'm not surprised they RP for that. You're desperately trying to find anything, any way to stay in this game. You take down one hero, now you have an advantage in numbers. They can't really go for Roche.
Moo kind of just moves in there like, I thought this was a safe place.
This is my home. I've jungled here for years. Why am I dead? No.
Brax is like, because of me. Jumps right in, easy RP and setup. Gets help from Yawar. Yawar moving in now. Oh, big chunk damage. Fun able to get off that desperation grave. Yawar is like, I'm going to get you. Gets assistance. Mike helps tag in. They get the finishing blow there. Unstoppable right now for Yawar.
This is going to work for Summer's Rift. They take 2 kills. You know, there is buyback from Wii. Doesn't want to use it. Obviously, it's only a tier 2 tower, but now, you know, one big team fight, and suddenly they're back in this, and they were already putting pressure onto this tier 3 tower. And Root Gaming are like, this was not the plan. This is not what we had going on. There's going to be a glyph, and TC even pops the shapeshift, and
running.
Anti-mage is just going to
He's
get
caught
out of here.
already, and Snare is there. Monkeys is going to dive in, gets the quick kill on the Demon, and he's still going to go on pursuit. Now what's Whitebeard next? Whitebeard gets the help to force away from Mike, but he's still in trouble. He does a desperate Static Storm. Oh, bumps TC out from it, does Brax, but puts him on the other side of the kinetic field, but Monkey still on the chase. Diving in. Brax going to be able to make it to the high ground. He is running away. Turns it around. They get the Empower onto Yawar. They're thinking about it. Monkeys
They have
forever.
10 seconds on RP. I don't know if they can turn this
10 seconds on RP. About the same for the AM ulti. Here comes Mike. Jumps in, gets the catch on the move. They are going to end up losing Brax, though. Yawar was trying to go for the finish, but GA going to be coming out from Fluff. Oh, what a blow-up from Yawar!
Oh, Lord.
Turns around, smacks him right in the face. Convenient cooldown timing for him. Secures him the kill.
Vaporized. That could have gone so much worse. He's lucky that cooldown came when it did. DC just kind of has to look on in horror as 2 of his teammates fall right before him. Those are some big Bloodstone charges down the drain as well.
Yep.
But luckily enough, with the Bloodstone, he does respawn rather quickly, so it's no harm super done here. It's just that buff is down for 25 seconds. Roche is going to be up in who knows how long. This timer has not really told us anything yet. If I'd paid more attention, I would know exactly when Roche is up. But
oh, it would be so nice if I just hit a button and a clock came out and said, oh, by the way, Roche will be up at
You're
this time.
asking for too much, Dakota.
My immersion!
It's up in 2 minutes and 45 seconds. So that is a full duration Roche respawn, which definitely hurts Root Gaming in this situation. They want to get in there. They want to get out as quickly as possible, put more pressure. This is only going to allow Summer's Rift to increase their farm, to increase their itemization. And
yeah,
Yawar's already back up to 4.7k
Jeez.
in terms of money. He's
rich,
freaking farmed. Yeah,
he's rich. He'll continue to farm up. The hustle is also there for Demon. He is trying to finish out this Diffusal Blade. That could also be a game changer for them. And many times they have been kind of squashed when they were on pursuit of getting their own kills, and that pesky Dazzle or Fluff save will be there just in time. The Diffusal could change things up a bit. Brax did not have to expend his RP in that previous skirmish, so he does have it ready to go now. Him and Yawar in tandem move on through here, but we look to Root. Root waiting out that clock as well for the Roche. We check on TC here. TC, who's got a Solar Crest, looking to go for an AC build-up. Very into his sieging power here with this itemization. But they've been the ones that have been kind of reserved and pulled back on their side of the river.
Root had such an advantage. They still do. Net worth-wise, it's only 2,000. When they pushed Rax the last game, they had a 3,000 net worth advantage. That kind of gives you an indication of them just being able to take fights and being able to take advantages without too much. This is the build I was talking about. Blink Force, Refresher for the Magnus, and he's having trouble getting off 1 RP, let alone 2. So, not going to be the easiest game for Rax. If they do get that great RP off, though, set of RPs, rather. And this is the bigger item, though. This is something I talked about a little bit earlier and I forgot about. It's the Diffusal that is now done for Demon on the Naga Siren. It's going to be big, Dakota. This is going to be that item that gives the mech into the game.
I'm sure Root have been anticipating this. They had to have seen that Demon was holding a pretty penny. Could itemize that way, but Root are on the prowl. They have Monkeys Forever leading out the front. They're smoked up. They don't want to wait longer for the Aegis. It's a long clock. If they can clear out, get a pick, it will secure their Roche go. Looks like they might come up short with this smoke because Summer's Rift along the bottom.
There's nobody farming the top, which is really pushed in, and they have no vision in their jungle. They're just staying together, though. They have some idea that something's happening, but they're not really clumped up enough.
Oh my God.
There's definitely a chance for Summer's Rift to get caught out. I think they saw the courier from
They're pinging.
They think something's happening. They shapeshift. I don't know what they're chasing after.
They're just running.
TC's running through the jungle
TC's like
like a madman.
beelining the other way, and they're sneaking out with a smoke the other side. What the hell's going on? They catch Moo, a straggler, and an easy kill for Yawar. Uh-oh, Root have been pulled apart. They're in terrible positioning. And they're going to get fun. Everyone else is like, just go, leave him. I'm sorry.
Oh, they got the freaking Observer Ward, too. Demon's like, I'm just going to counter orb while I'm songing you to death. And Fawn is just going to get obliterated with an ensnare. He's going to grave himself, but without a TP and without a Ghost Scepter, he's Dunzo with Dunzo. He's going to Shadow Wave himself. This is perfect timing for Summer's Rift. And with how farm you are, Diffuse Blade up for Demon. This is it, man. It's time. It is time for them to come back and tie the series at 1 apiece.
Buy back, though, so you can already see by the buy language, Summer's Rift are like, okay, never mind. That's a wall vacuum setup that could be terrible at a choke point like that. And they don't have a sentry on the ground. That's the other thing. Summer's Rift
no vision here for the Radiant squad either. There's vision for the Dire team. Luckily, they have illusions to spam out, so they'll know if Root decided to go into the pit. And you can see Root really want to go in there. Summer's Rift have to keep tabs. This is probably the most important decision of the game as to, are we going to fight this? Are we going to take Roche? Who's going to do what here? This could be the turning point of the game. Roche is
going down so fast. They're just going to get it. Mike steps in, doesn't get it. So we're going to go to TC. The bump is going to put TC on the high ground. He is stuck. Goes into shapeshift, but he still can't participate. Oh my, what a setup, but Brax evacuates. Pulls Moo right out. And they're going to make it go, and Guardian Angel not going to be enough. Yawar is going to clean up with the Mana Void. Now looks to go for Fluff. He's going to be forced to sell fuels. TC is still trapped on the high ground from Mike.
He has no TP. He has no way to get down. They have no force staffs. They have no force staffs.
Yawar goes in, is going to finish him off. This is going to take 2 finishes, though. Gets the shallow grave save from Fun. What a disaster. Mike sets up a beautiful cog bump. Brax gets the RP onto 2, cleans them up. And TC, one of the lone survivors now, stranded like a lost puppy. They could just leave him there.
God.
Radiant's middle
They
tower
could,
is
but that would they want to kill him.
But
They clearly
Yawar
wanna
is
bring
like,
him
I
down.
will put you out of your misery, and starts just chunking him down. Lycan actually gets the kill onto Whitebeard, but a triple kill for Yawar is the emphatic finish of that fight.
It's time to go top. It's time to take a Rax. They have no buyback on Mu. They have no buyback on the Lycan. TC down for 60 seconds. Oh, what a push up on that cliff. That's unbelievable. I don't know if they could have had a worse situation. You're against the clock where you don't have a single freaking 4-step. You've got to be kidding me. They're going to try to finish this off all the way ball lightning just to clear up the creep wave, but he actually is off the mark. And Rax top lane is gone. Yawar with a 30,000 net worth lead over everyone. I should say 12,000 in terms of the lead, but 30,000 is what he's got in the bank. He's going to clean up this tier 3 mid, and the Rax now getting pulled in. He's got the Abyssal. Can they lock him down long enough? They don't have a Hex. They don't have an Orchid. He just mans his way. Now goes in with the Abyssal. Monkeys Forever Glimmer Cape. They vacuum him out. They should get this melee Rax before they leave. They'll force him away, and the song. Repel is going to get diffused off by Demon, and then they'll just zip back.
They give him the cheese, and Yawar is ready to play once more. Right into Fluff. Fluff almost goes down. Gonna get the quick self-heals, but barely alive. Gets the Grave, the Purify. Yawar in trouble. Able to blink out and make it away. Monkeys on pursuit. Oh, needs more damage here. Oh, my.
Oh.
Turns it right back around on his ass and gets the Mana Void kill. Monkeys, though, buys back, goes right in. Gets the kill on the Demon, and they get the follow-up on the Brax here. Whitebeard should be next, and he goes down. Yawar still survives and makes it out.
And they did a lot of damage to that static storm, but Yawar is just invulnerable, it seems. They give him the cheese. They have the song. They get cog blocks. It's just impossible to kill this man. He still has yet to die in this game at 40 minutes, Dakota, and he might be the only one. In fact, he is. There's one death for the Clockwork, which, by the way, is outstanding for IX Mike. He doesn't have a BKB. All he's got is a 4-staff Blade Wheel and Aghanim Scepter that he just picked up, and now there's a BKB for Yawar. Even harder to bring him down. And he's just carrying. That's it. They have no lockdown for him. Instead of going for the Scythe, Monkeys Forever goes for the Shivas. They can't hex him up. They can't bring him down.
That's a tough pill to swallow, and one thing they might have not considered preparing for, going against the Clockwork, typically, you want to get that support, like your Rubik or someone, a strong 4-staff candidate. And Omni Knight, they opted to go for the Eul's pickup.
Yeah,
not
that's
a
the biggest thing. Can you imagine what would happen if TC was on the ground for that entire Roche fight? Like, if he was actually involved with his Aegis? I mean, yeah, they could have kited him a bit with Ensnare and with 4 stabs and Advanced Mage Blink, but he would have killed a couple heroes at the very least. Instead, he looks on in horror as his team dies around him, and then he's cleaned up by Yawar, who is just taking hold of this game. This is why Anti-mage is so good. You have to find some lockdown.
Not a blemish on his record yet. Oh, nice catch by 2. They move in, they get the kill on the Dazzle. Static Storm, and they're going to get the quick finish. Monkeys Forever. It's going to pop, and he has no buyback, as pointed out, and that's it.
And they just call GG.
Root have had enough. It's very clear they can't get the finish. Brax pulls out the second RP, and Yawar, with one hell of an AM performance, is going to finish this game out without a blemish on his record. What is it, 16-0?
Unbelievable, man.
Unbelievable.
I don't. If you have that GIF, spam that shit in chat.
That's ridiculous. 18-0.
21 fantasy points. 822 GPM. Dear Lord. That's what we were talking about in the draft, man. Get locked down for an anti-mage. I would have been fine if the Storm Spirit went for a Hex early on into the game. He goes for a Shiva's Guard, which is fine too, but like, they have no lockdown. They could have killed Yawar like 4 or 5 times in this game. Nope. Doesn't happen.
We got a Dota series, Maut. That's what I'm excited about. The series quickly ends up going from a best-of-5 into a best-of-3 as things have been evened up 1-1. Champions of Summer's Rift, it looked a bit difficult for them to break through the tough defensive shell of Root here in Game 2, but they certainly have done it. And, of course, got to give credit and props to Mike and a beautiful cog bump that made that Roche fight just so good for Summer's Rift. So, with that said, I'm already hyped up. I'm ready to hop into Game 3 action, folks. We'll be coming up in just a couple of moments. You're watching BTS America's Grand Finals, powered by Squarespace. I'm KotLGuy. That's Maut. We'll be back in just a moment for Game 3 of Summer's Rift going against Root.